Let's see. Hey, I want to welcome you to another episode of the Warzone and tell you thank you for taking the time out to tune in. And you know, without you guys, I wouldn't have a show. So I'm always grateful for you taking the time out to hang out with your boy. There's quite a bit going on in the world today. But I think the biggest thing is in Houston is always some political theater that we have to deal with. So I ain't gonna do no talking. I'm gonna just play it for you.
Decision 2023, Houston Congresswoman Sheila.
Scan the QR code to join KPRC2 Insider. You'll unlock exclusive content, a chance to spin the Houston Life prize wheel, and insider-only giveaways. Just scan the QR code.
Jackson Lee is planning to run for mayor of Houston.
She joins a long list of candidates who have already begun campaigning for the November election. KPRC2's Taisha Walker, live from the Congresswoman's office in 5th Ward, with how this might impact the race. Taisha?
Daniela, the Congresswoman's office has yet to confirm the news to our organization. We did try multiple times to reach out to her, even in the weeks leading up to this, due to that speculation. But we did speak with a political science professor who is currently doing a poll on the mayoral race, who tells us this will be one of the most expensive races in city history.
I will not be able to do it without each and every one of you.
Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee of Texas is joining the crowded race for Houston mayor.
Sheila Jackson Lee wants to come home to be your mayor for the city of Houston.
Jackson Lee, who has represented the historic 18th Congressional District for 28 years, made the announcement before an audience at City Cathedral Church Sunday in video obtained by local online publication Urban Reform.
I think she runs more or less to a center or a moderate.
Texas Southern University political science professor Dr. Michael Adams says members of Congress running for mayoral seats is trending nationally.
And I think there seems to be some understanding that their impact could be broader in the office of the mayor. And Sheila Jackson Lee, for example, has served on city council. She's proven herself to run in an at-large position.
Jackson Lee is up against early frontrunner and state senator John Whitmire, former Harris County Clerk Chris Hollins, former City Council member Amanda Edwards, City Council member Robert Gallegos, and former Metro Chairman Gilbert Garcia, to name a few.
She enters the race as one of several frontrunners.
Dr. Adams says the Congresswoman has a name recognition, a long career in public service, and a loyal base.
It would be up to the congressperson to see if she can pivot and turn her popularity into campaign fundraising, where she'll be able to run a competitive race.
So far, we have only heard from the Collins campaign, who issued a statement saying, quote, "We look forward to the debate about how to build a safer, stronger, and more affordable Houston." Reporting live from Houston's 5th Ward, Taisha Walker, KPRC 2 News.
So there you have it. There you have it. Sheila Jackson Lee has thrown her hat in the ring to run for mayor of Houston. A lot of people wanted to hear my insight on it. And I'm going to say this here, man. The political ring around the rosies as it pertains to African-American politicians is really getting tiresome. You people that have been in office forever don't know when to pull a Michael Jordan. You don't know when it's time to let it go, because you got to keep your hand in the money pot. That's what you got to do. There's a lot of money in politics. There's quite a bit of money in sitting in certain political seats. And being the mayor of the city of Houston, as we can see with the current mayor, generates a lot of money. You have a lot of power. You can run your dictatorship the way you want. I don't even understand why we have city council members some days, because the mayor don't do nothing but punk them. But that brings us to Sheila Jackson Lee and her deciding to run for mayor of Houston. I saw a lot of people thinking that this was a good thing. No, it's not. Black people are crazy to a certain degree. Black voters are crazy to a certain degree. You constantly complain about the affluent white communities. You complain about your racism. You complain about this and that. But yet you don't hold the people accountable that are actually the ones making you incur the racism, and the ones who are actually seriously oppressing you. You decide that you're always going to give them a pass because they're black. So I would ask a simple question. If you want to support Jackson Lee for mayor, show me any piece of legislation that she's had passed that has helped anybody. Name me something that she has done besides show up to a funeral, which, that's what they do. Take a good picture here and there. That she's good at that. But what type of legislation has she had? I don't want to know what she's pushed. I want to know what type of legislation she has pushed and passed that has helped anybody. I think that she will run into a lot of problems. And some of those problems are a lot of politicians made the pandemic a black and a white issue. That's, far as how people were treated. Now, you got to go back to those same white Republicans, because this is a nonpartisan position. So Republican and Democrat don't matter, but it is going to come into play. You're going to have to go back to some of those same white conservatives that you alienated, that you talked about crazy, that you everything was racist, and you're going to have to justify to them why you should be the mayor of Houston and why they should cast their vote for you. I don't think it's going to pass the muster. I don't think that you can get out here and turn certain situations into partisan situations. Talk down on Republicans and then expect Republican voters to come to bat for you. I don't know what deal John Whitmire had cut, but whatever it is, and he, went against it, the political black regime decided that you would be the best person to run. So what happens to the black vote? The black vote will now be diluted because you have all these African Americans running against John Whitmire, who I think in the end will win. I think that Whitmire will win. And that's great if you are a white conservative and Sheila Jackson Lee is your representative. But I have yet for anybody to tell me whether they support her or not. Tell me about this legislation that she wrote that benefited anybody. Not just black people, anybody. In 28 years, you can't name a piece of legislation that somebody who's basically been a career politician has had passed that benefited anybody. And if people support her, then my question now becomes, why? Why would you support somebody who hasn't shown you they can do the job that they currently have? So what happens to the lame duck mayor who's, he's termed out? And what happens to him? Well, from what I understand, they want to push him to take her seat. So basically, they want to swap seats. How does that benefit us? It doesn't. On top of that, you've had somebody else decide that they are going to run for her seat also, which is Carol G. Robinson, the former disgraced president of Houston Community College, who I read in something on his page from the 4th of March, who had a problem with somebody attacking a current sitting HCC trustee, which is Charlene Johnson, and he will not stand next to somebody who has attacked Black Democrats for Republican. For real. Let me say this so that we can understand. Carol G. Robinson is not a viable candidate. Let's get that out the way for any seat at this moment. When you own HCC, there were problems with money and contracts. So now you're over the what's the name of your group? The Texas Coalition of Black Democrats, who have been running illegal PACs. It's been proven. 2 of your members of your Houston organization have been sanctioned by the Texas Ethics Commission for a total of, I think, $40,000 in fines. And you have been running illegal political PACs for almost 10 years. And now you are a viable candidate for any seat. And then you get to tell people who you should stand next to. Negro, don't nobody want to stand next to you. Dude, nobody wants to stand next to you. All y'all Black politicians are doing is just running game, getting filthy rich, while our communities look like war zones. So you got people jockeying for position here and there. And so now I understand why Madam Congresswoman been showing up at the pep rallies for HISD against TEA. And you just out there just trying to get your cheerleaders together. See, I knew it was something, and I knew that it would come out. These people don't care about anybody but themselves. And they're always trying to enrich themselves some kind of way. And people will look at me, but Monroe, she's Black. I don't do symbolism. I do effectiveness. And she's not been effective. Now, if we need a politician that can stand at a funeral and give a hell of a eulogy, Sheila's that girl. If we need somebody that can show up and take pictures better than the Mona Lisa, then Sheila's that girl. But at the end of the day, her effectiveness does not it does not outweigh her ability to show us that she's done nothing. Now, I know Black people are gonna fall for the okie doke, which that's what you normally do. But what you can't continue to keep doing and allowing your Black representation to gas you up to do is talk down on white America because our communities look like they look. Or Black people getting treated like they getting treated. Because white America don't put up with failed politicians like that. They'll get rid of them. They'll get rid of them. But see, us, we like to recycle. We recycle politicians more than we recycle funky draws. Let's get it straight. And if I'm stepping on your toes because you're a Sheila Jackson Lee supporter, I don't give a damn. She is the trash that they left on the curb. And she has not been effective in doing anything for her people in 28 years. So I wonder how the people in Fifth Ward feel, knowing that she has taken money from Union Pacific, gaslighting. Oh, let me finish my comment before I read yours. I wonder how the people in Fifth Ward feel about cancer clusters and their people dying mysteriously of cancer, and knowing that the good Congress lady till this day is accepting money from Union Pacific. So now I'll go and I'll read your comment now. Don't you think you're over exaggerating just a bit about her? You're gaslighting her. No, you call it whatever you want. She my representative. I know what's not being done in my community. I know what's not being done. If she's so good at what she does, she pledged $100,000 for that turf field at Jack Yates High School in her district, and the money has never been delivered in almost 3 years. And the kid's gonna lose the field. So where's the gaslighting? Shamara Atkins says she was supposed to be suing those Union Pacific people. Well, how you gonna sue the people that put money in your campaign? I've already proved that. And then she says she wants to come home. Your home is Jamaica. My home is Third Ward, Texas. Your home is Jamaica. You're not from here. Let's get that straight. So if you want to go home, I think you get a cheap flight. Get up out of here. Go back 20 years and show me what this woman has done. But see, we as a people, and I want to stress this, the lady that said I was gaslighting her. You can't complain about what you ain't got when you're comfortable with where we are. They protect them. Bernard Lane says, why people always protecting these politicians that haven't paid none of your bills? Because they are of slave mentalities. They are of slave mentalities. And they don't see that there are plenty good people that are waiting to get in office that want to be change agents. But you don't want the good people. You good where you are. So you all right with your neighborhoods continuing to flood. Well, don't complain when the next hurricane comes through. You all right when your crime rate is through the roof. Well, don't complain when you get your head bust open. I don't feel sorry for a lot of people in Houston. You feel what I'm saying? For several reasons. Because you're comfortable where you are. And Sheila Jackson Lee running for mayor does not benefit anybody in the city of Houston. If you thought Turner was bad, this woman here will be horrible. The bottom line is they're showing you with the school system being messed up, with all the stuff that's going on, and they have crunk up their political theater right there in your face. And they are showing you who they really are. And we're so dumb that we gonna listen to folks because the only thing they seem to lean on is the racism. They can't debate points. They can't talk about real issues. If you try to hold a conversation with a black Democrat at the moment, everything will revert back to Trump and everything will become a racist issue. So to clarify this here, no one has said anything. Trump ain't the reason you ain't wrote some meaningful legislation. Trump ain't the reason that you ain't dealt with them cancer clusters in Fifth Ward and Acres Homes. You are the reason. And the real reason is because you're taking money from the rail company that created the problem. So y'all want people that support her. Oh, she's gonna win. She gonna have to beat John Whitmire. I can tell you that now. She's going to have to beat him. So like I say, I don't know if he angered some black folk in positions of power or whatever, but to throw this lady into the mix, it's a slap in the face of black people, man. But at the same time, some of y'all need your face slapped because of the things that you believe in and your ideologies, and not being willing to stand up and call these folks on their BS. Call them on it. Don't you think 28 years of service is more than enough? Whatever you feel you've done in 28 years, that's a long time for one person to be in office. And people not even, you can't find 50% of your people who support the work that you've done. You can't find 50% of your people who support the work that you've done. So I want every last one of y'all to hear me when I say this part, that black folk, you ain't the only one gonna have to vote for. Them white folks she turned her eyes and ears away from and treated like they were garbage, they not got some skin in the game. And do you really think them people gonna get a vote up? Nah, bro. Now you 2 years short, Renee. Renee Broussard say, I thought it was 30 years of pure nothing. No, Renee, you're too short. She going in the year 29, though. 28 years of hot garbage. And it ain't no other way to put it. It ain't no other way to accept it except to say that this woman has done nothing. So you can go find the white politician, and the white community can say, well, he done this for us. You can go find the Asian. Oh, well, look at what we got done. We got this done. You can go find LGBTQ. Yeah. But when it's us, our people have a hard time showing us what they've done because they've been so busy doing other things. They've been so busy doing other things. Greg Abbott is not, and I'm gonna put your comment up because I love a troll, and I want to give you the same respect I give everybody else. So Greg Abbott cares about 3rd Ward and 5th Ward. So so we're not gonna use Trump, we're gonna use Abbott now. We're talking about Sheila, and that's the problem. And it's good to be an unknown participant in this show because you can't honestly think that you could show your face and make that comment and stand behind it. Why is it that we divert straight to the white people when we're discussing failed black politicians and failed black candidates? Why can't we? Why we got to divert there? Because you can't win the argument. That's why. And that's the new go-to nowadays. Let's take us from being under the microscope, and let's talk about the real. And once again, here's another one. Abbott does not, sir or ma'am. That exactly. We are exactly where we need to be at this moment in our lives. We are in failed communities. We are in the middle of failed school systems because we keep putting in the same failed people. And then we want to complain about what other people are not doing for us. Or we want to complain about why our community don't look like theirs. But I say stop complaining and just accept where we are. Let's read Terry Hayes' comment. Terry says Houston needs a fresh new face as mayor and not the same old politician that have not been getting the job done for the past decade. Let's ask ourselves this question before we make a decision to endorse anyone for mayor of the city of Houston. What has these people done in the past for us that is so great? Why should we really be voting for them? Exactly. Why? Let's be fair. I can tell you why not to vote for, but I want y'all to tell me why should you. Don't be shy. You can be unknown. You can hide your face. Why should someone vote for Sheila Jackson Lee for mayor? I'd love to know the reason. I'd love to know. I'd love to know why we should vote for this lady for mayor. I thought she was going to save the school system. I thought that she was going to file some type of federal lawsuit. This is what she's saying. I thought that she was going to write a letter to the U.S. Department of Education. I thought that she was going to talk to President Biden. And lastly, I thought that she was supposed to call the TEA commissioner last week. These are not things that I'm saying. These are things that she said she was going to do. So if she's not done them, I may not be the one that's gaslighting. So why should someone vote for Sheila Jackson Lee? You have somebody on the fence right now that's watching. Give these people a valid reason as to why. Do I think that John Whitmire will be a good mayor? Hell no. Do I think, why is everybody giving up these high-powered political positions to come on back down to Houston and want to be the mayor? Because your current mayor has showed you that you get a whole bunch of money if you do this down here. So Calvin Sims, he gave me a reason, because she's black, period. Ivana Kabeldick says she believes in limited government and lower taxes and modest spending. Let's read Terry's comment. If you have a black politician over your community, look around at your community and do you have good street lighting? Do you have good sidewalks? Do your parks look good? Do you still have food deserts? Is crime in your community? Is crime running your community? Are you? Exactly. I'm looking at these comments. D. Harris says yes to open more charter schools. Bernard Lane, demote yourself and get more money. Renee Broussard, facts. Trauma Mama, seriously. And Al Jackson says Beto would be a better candidate. Renee Broussard, big money. Bread and buns. Laugh out loud. She does not believe in smaller government. Could you imagine her? Could you imagine her in charge of the city of Houston's size budget? More billions would be missing. Kristen Martin says, too bad Tillman Fertitta wouldn't run. And Houston Teachers United, Gary, trust me, pull this up and show your viewers. 90% of Houstonians say no to Sheila Jackson Lee. I'm letting you guys know that it's going to be an uphill battle. See, because you don't just get to, we have an issue, a global pandemic. You don't just get to talk to everybody any kind of way, treat them unfairly, and then come back and think that these people are going to vote for you. See, everybody ain't the ignorant black voter. Everybody's not the ignorant black voter. And the same people that you handled bad are the same people that's going to knock you completely out the race. Now, Terry say this is a retirement payoff for Miss Lee. Rake in as much as you can and then retire in your city. And she'll retire with a hell of a pension from the U.S. Congress if that's what she chooses to do. But then you go, like I say, you would have Turner, most likely. He hasn't said that he will or if he won't. And then you'll have Carol G. Robinson, who ain't nothing but a crook in sheep's clothing to pick from right now. Say, bro. Black folk, you getting exactly what you want. You getting exactly what you're voting for. Nothing. And then and the sad part is when I don't like somebody, they know it. They know it. But some of y'all don't like this lady, and as soon as you're in her company, you taking pictures, you kissing her behind, you're feeding the beast. No, she's not running as a Democrat, Sean. City government elections are nonpartisan. So she can go to the Republican side. She can go wherever she want to go. But everybody knows she's a staunch Democrat. I mean, that doesn't bother me. Because regardless of what she is, Republican or Democrat, she'd never get my vote. It would never happen. It would never happen. I live in the community. I already know. It would never happen. This is a woman, if the issue is a hot topic, like the other night, somebody called me and told me they try to get in touch with her people on something, and they said she was in D.C. She wasn't in town. And then they look at the news a couple hours later, and she was at an HISD TEA takeover rally. This is the woman that sits in the SUV at functions to make sure that there's more than enough people there before she makes her entrance. And if it ain't enough people there, she'll sit in the car and probably call in and act like she's out of town. This is the representation that black folk have. But see, we don't want to tell the truth about these people because we don't want to be one of a few who's bold enough to stand and call them out. So Terry say, so does this mean if she becomes the mayor, she's going to make sure the city takes back HISD from TEA? She has no control over that, and she'll never get it done. Once TEA takes HISD, it's done. It's already done, but I mean, once they take it, then it's done. So Ivana says she lives in Third Ward. What that mean? She lives in the Black River Oaks of Third Ward. Since you know that. She lives on the same stretch of road as Boris Miles and a few other rich black politicians. But what does that mean? She's not good for people, and you don't have to accept it. I mean, I'm good with that. You don't have to, people don't have to accept it. Accept where you are and be happy where you are. If this crime is not addressed in the city, it's going to get worse. Nobody's addressing it. I'm talking to somebody the other night. They don't even want to talk to Troy Finner no more. There's somebody that done worked with him forever from a community standpoint. Except where we are. There are some young, bright minds that are ready to be turned loose on the political spectrum, but they can't get their opportunity because these old politicians don't want to let go. They don't want to let go. Terry say, so what is she going to change? Crime, education, infrastructure, traffic, immigration, business? No, she gonna make shit get worse. Let me tell you something. Sheila's about grant money. Sheila's about government funding going to her friends. That's what Sheila's about. And if she becomes mayor, this city will just go to pure hell. And that's all it boils down to. Deborah White says the only way to get them out is vote them out. Y'all already know how I feel about that. If you've been watching me, you know how I feel about that. You know, in America, there is no more democracy. Let's get that straight. There is no more democracy. We are under full-fledged dictatorship. I don't care what you say, how you say it. There is no more democracy. So to vote somebody out in America, that don't happen if they don't want it to happen. Let's tell the truth and shame the devil. Some people represent big business interests. Some people, they so tied into money that it's unreal. And nothing else seems to matter. And when it's all said and done, this country that we love and live in, and some of us realize is really greater than what they could ever imagine. It's a country that is a dictatorship. It's a country that, when you look at the old way that Cuba was ran by Castro, it resembles not America and the foundation which it was built on. It resembles a foreign country that's ran by dictators. But you are a benefactor of it. Renee say, I wish I can get the hell out of here. Well, there are other places that people think that they could go to that would be better, but it's probably not. It's probably not. And when it's all said and done, you're probably in the right place. But where we are right now is we're dealing with people that supply false hope. Sheila Jackson Lee is one of them. And see, the thing is when you speak about it, if white people speak about her in these terms, they want to call them racist MAGA people. But I'm a black man that lives in her district. So what would you call me? I'm a black man that got to get out and help her district when she's not answering the phone. So what would you call me? See, the problem that I have with people like Carole Robinson is you want to, when somebody criticizes you, stank politicians, you can't take the criticism. But you also cannot justify why we're on your behinds. You won't admit that you've screwed up. You won't admit that you've lied continuously. You won't admit, I bet you won't show your bank account. I bet you won't show these people your bank account, Carole Robinson, with all the illegal money that you've attained over the years, with your schemes, with your contracts on HCC. And then it has the nerve to say that all high schools should be early colleges through HCC. Dude, is you out your mind? Where they find you at? Under that rock? Everything is about money to you people. Money come with the game that you play. But you won't even take care of the people. But the people are the ones that are at fault because you keep putting them back in there to do the same things that they've been doing. I would ask again, tell me about some legislation that she's passed. Tell me about some legislation that she's passed in 28 years. Something, anything. Whether it was just to make sure that your dog had a chip in them, and if they got lost and you got them back. Did she do that? Did she pass some legislation for the mosquito man to come through in the summer and spray your neighborhood? And what legislation has she passed? None. In 28 years. None. And now she would be the best thing for Houstonians as the mayor of Houston. Bro, I think not. I think not. Just looking at these comments. Y'all are very, very active tonight. You know, Wednesday there will be a meeting, TEA community meeting. They moved it to Del Mar Stadium. And it's so much political jockeying going on with that. You know, all these groups that have really endorsed all these failed candidates over the years, they're trying to get people put on a board of managers, and you know, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. And our children are suffering. I talked to a principal today who was lucky enough to get somebody that someone owed a favor to come and cut the grass at the school. Our kids can't even get their grass cut at their schools. Our current superintendent is trying to get a budget passed to where he cuts in half, basically, the amount of money that students are to receive from the district. We're at $180 something a kid, and he wants to cut that down to $85 per child. Schools can't be ran with that. That's why I'm telling y'all, everybody talking about TEA, the way this man operates and the way they operating right now, you're going to lose your schools regardless. Because we have people making educational decisions that don't know what the hell they doing. So Wednesday night, it's going to be a hot meeting. I think you'll see more HISD police officers at that meeting than you've ever seen at a school. We don't seem to have enough to make sure our kids are safe, but yet they're going to come in force to the HISD meeting about TEA. I'm just like, I'm not even at my wit's end with this. I'm having a ball right now because my phone is constantly ringing and it does not stop. But I will say that when it's all said and done, you're going to reap what you sow. Ivana asked, is that Del Mar Stadium you going? Yeah, I'm going. Me and my bullhorn going. Ain't no reason I can't have it. So you got that meeting Wednesday, and then the next night there's one at Cashmere High School in the auditorium. The only thing I can say right now with all of this, especially with the schools, I told you so. I've been telling you for years. And like Big Mike used to say, time come with change, change come with time. And the karma that HISD deserves is finally catching up to them. Tamika said, we still haven't solved the issues with these school shootings. They can't keep these kids safe, and they get millions of dollars in funding. And they're not trying to keep them safe. You got to understand how they play chess. And in this game of chess, which is schools, we'll start there. The more it looks like you're working with a problem, the more grant money you can keep getting. Why solve a problem and cut off the grant money? Make it look like you're really trying to do something. Make it look like you're really trying to do something. HISD can't keep officers because they don't pay them enough. If you think teachers' pay is horrible, man, look at some of these. Look at some of these police officers and compare HISD police officers to what they make. These people don't make no money. So whether it's police or teachers or whatever, if you're not going to pay people what they're worth, they're not going to work for you. And if they do work for you, they're not going to give you everything that you ask them for because it is what it is. Terry say all these meetings are vanilla meetings. They're going to tell you what they want you to know. And that's about it. Nothing is going to change until TEA is ready to change it. Exactly. So you can run to the meeting and think your actions are going to make them move. Well, what about you, Monroe? I already know my actions going to make them move. See, because I got things that you don't have. I know things that you don't know. So when I'm sitting and I'm talking to somebody, they already know you don't want to play. We don't want to have to deal with this dude. Because you might end up in a bunch of stuff. Nah, I'm not. Unknown says you 5-star, you should start your own party. That's what I'm doing. I'm not gonna do that. It's a waste of time. I mean, you'll never be accepted by the masses and you won't ever get anything done. So the only way you're gonna get it done, you're gonna have to infiltrate one of these parties. You're gonna have to infiltrate some of these parties. You got to get in, you got to do whatever you can do. And that's the thing, when you got good people that want to get in, they're gonna shut them out. They're gonna box them out because they don't represent what they feel they should represent. Or you didn't kiss nobody. Like me, when I ran for school board, the Black Baptist minister, whatever they call it, Black Baptist Minister Association. Normally you go screen with them. If they give you an endorsement, then you have to give them money. I'm not giving you no money. You should be helping fund my campaign. So I won't get their endorsement. The first time I ran, they the same organization that got somebody to put in the race to make sure I didn't have a shot. But whose phone is ringing right now about all this school foolishness? The same man you never wanted to serve. And I ain't got to lie. I ain't got to lie. It ring all day now. All day long. And guess what I'm not doing? I'm not working for free. You want my insight? You're going to pay for it. Like, the first meeting we went to, the first meeting they had, I didn't go in reference to this takeover. They said that there were 138 applications, a couple of days after the stuff came out. I've not seen 138 people run for the school board in the last 10 years. So where all you people come from? All these people that love education all of a sudden right now, where did you come from? Our schools and our kids were not important enough for you to ever show up and speak at a board meeting. Our schools and our kids were never important enough for you to come to the community and try to help the schools. But now you're the best thing since sliced bread. And I'm looking into this camera. Some of y'all have already been appointed. But if you think I'm going to sit quiet with some of these secret appointments, they ain't going to happen. I'm finna bust you. I'm finna bust you. Because nobody cared about the school system. Now you got Carol G. Robinson running his mouth about the school system. You got the mayor running his mouth about the school system. Sheila Jackson Lee running her mouth about the school system. And ain't none of you bastards showed up to help none of these kids. But now all of a sudden they're so important to where you want to ask them to walk out of class for an hour to try and save your school district. Well, I tell you what, I will support that and try to get kids to walk out of class if you can explain to every last one of them why they should support a school system that doesn't support them. If you can explain to them why their grass ain't been cut in 2 to 3 months and all the affluent schools look like, palaces, I will support you in it. Explain to them why, they're struggling, but they don't have tutorials in their school, and you want them to stand up for the school system who has yet to give them exactly what the ESSER funds were designed to do. Well, all these politicians that people want the kids to stand up. People want the kids to walk out to schools now. But when our kids were getting raped in those schools and they walked out, you persecuted me for standing with them. When our kids were getting beat up by gang members and they walked out, you persecuted me for standing up with them. And now you're asking them. Y'all told me you shouldn't ask no kid to walk out of school. And I've never asked one. But I will stand with them if they chose to. But this would be the one time that I wouldn't? Why are you asking these kids to stand up for adults who won't stand up for their damn selves? Why are you asking a kid to do that? Ain't nobody in fo doing it, bro. And then y'all so dumb. You got people in your rallies and your meetings that recording y'all and taking all your information back to the other side. I know who you is. I want to look in your eye, young lady. And I want you to know you can sit in the back of the room yesterday all you want. But we're watching you because we know how dirty you are. And even though I may not agree with you, they don't deserve to be undermined by their own people. But that's the nature of us. We've been shooting each other in the back from the days the boat showed up on the shores of Africa. Y'all know who you are. And I'm gonna out you. And you're doing all this to show people that you could sit on a board of managers. So if you sell them out now, what you gonna do if you sit up there? Yeah, the ops. And I know who the ops are. See, I'm gonna tell you something. Ops. I don't never have to show up. I don't have to show up. I got eyes and ears everywhere. It is what it is, man. If you ain't got the guts as a grown person to stand up for your own job, what type of person would ask a kid to do it for them? I don't understand that. But you know what? It's good to be back on all the channels, YouTube and everything else. It's good to be able to wake up and know that I make a difference on a daily basis. Because I don't have nothing to be ashamed about with what I do for anybody. But I tell you what, I think some of you teachers gonna need some help. So y'all know my number if you need me. And don't dial it unless you're dead serious. Don't dial it unless you're dead serious. Because if you're looking for some weak representation, I'm not him. If you're looking at somebody that's gonna lay down for them people, I'm not him. And I will repeat this again. My people want me to sit on the board of managers. But if you're looking for a man that's going to play the game, if you're looking for a man that's not going to check somebody if I know they doing it wrong, I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. I don't think that you're going to find anybody better. Not with the resume that I got. But at the same time, I'm comfortable where I'm at. I'm comfortable doing what I'm doing. And I can help as much as I need to help. But I'm not going to compromise myself to accomplish the goal and make people happy. You're damn right I'm bigger than a board of managers. The Miss Witt says, you're bigger than a board of managers. I'm the best damn education advocate in the country. That ain't my loss if I don't get it. It's them kids. That means I'll just keep working towards law school. And guess what? When I get there and I pass that bar, I can promise you, I'm going to lock up a whole bunch of you people. It's going to take me a little while. I get that soon. But I want to thank all of y'all for taking time out every night to tune in to me. And it's a blessing to be around you good people. But I tell you this, do not put in your brain voting for Sheila Jackson Lee. She might be a fabulous person, but she's a garbage politician. And it makes no sense to go backwards. We've suffered for 8 long years with Sylvester Turner. We don't need to suffer another day. Our city has gone to hell in a handbasket with y'all who wanted this clown to be the mayor of Houston twice. And all he's ever done since he's been in there is make us look horrible. Say, man, thank you. I got some homework to do. You know what it is with me. It's the war zone. And I'm the 5-star general.